Good afternoon! Finally back on the air with the Carrington Show. Apologies for yesterday, couple issues. One guest had a problem with the internet being down, and the other, he had an emergency with his child. Fortunately, the young man had surgery this morning, and both he and Dad are doing great, but I do have Kristal McKerrington here today. Woo! And we're going to make this an interactive show, so if you have any questions or comments, you can message either of us on Skype, comment here on the Spreaker wall, or leave a message on the Ellen Carrington Show Facebook page. Just a couple things. Keep everything short and to the point. Stay on topic. Anything deemed inappropriate, you're going to get blocked and deleted. Simple as that. But anyway, let's get on with this show because Kristal's got a lot of good stuff to tell us. So I'm going to have her take it from here. Hi, Kristal. Welcome back.
It's great to be back. I don't... well, I guess I'll start with signed Marie's World to Austin. Happy to say that we bookstores that have signed up signings with us. Not really, like I wasn't expecting it. Kind of, I voted for that one. Gosh, we did mention in November, me and Joe joined by some wrestling friends. I've got Norse Gods Lovers coming in a couple of weeks. I'm just about to send back the final in. Date yet for Marie's World, but there's a new book cover coming.
Good.
I'll be put up. Yeah, it's going to be a brand new cover. It's very hot, very exciting. That's going to be with me, I think, in the next couple of weeks. So we'll be posting that, Joe and myself, on our Facebook Twitters. And ongoing discussion on my page right now of what is everyone's favorite paranormal creature. Whether you like vampires, werewolves, shapeshifters. Gosh, I even had somebody say a witch. So I'm opening the floor because I want to hear your favorite magic creatures are.
Oh, that would be cool. Hopefully somebody will chime in on that.
Well, we've had a few people chime in already.
Great.
And we're hoping to lengthen the discussion because I have to hear from everybody and hear what their thoughts and opinions are. So
cool. Hey, while we're talking about Marie's World, you know, I'm kind of into the whole internet movie database thing since somebody messaged me one day so when my latest book came out. And they have it on Joe's page that it's in production for 2015. I wanted to mention that to everybody.
We were scheduled to start production, and then basically what happened with it, we had ended, and then the event not to go through with it. But by that time, somebody, I think it was a fan or somebody, had added to his IDM that he was doing it. We are talking to some production companies about a contract with it. Kind of get it made into a film, but we're not just looking to sell the film rights to it.
Right. Okay. But yeah, I happened to spot it on Joe's page there one day, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't made aware that it had been until obviously
So our projects are on the Internet Movie Database. I think we arrived.
Well, the thing is, Joe doesn't actually update DM. It's all fans. So fans can and change IDM information.
It's kind of like Wikipedia, really. It's kind of like Wikipedia, really.
And the great thing about Wikipedia.
But hey, if we're worth mentioning, we must be doing something right, correct?
Well, the thing about Wikipedia is the information on there is so they don't pay attention to the Wikipedia page.
No, I usually just read that for laughs because sometimes it's not always accurate. At least as far as I. But hey, I'm like, my book got on there too, so somebody must have liked it.
Yeah, I seen that you were back with Shooting Stars, so congratulations.
Thank you. This is great. Really didn't expect it to take off as well as it did.
I'm glad. Like wrestling books are, I had a huge of people are fighting for a little, and all of a sudden it's dive, and we're making sales a month now. You never know with wrestling books through happen, but I do know that there's a lot of people that are one because the second one is in production. So I'm working on the second book at the moment. Me written a plot, like a maps of what we were intending to do. So I'm interested to see whether people are going to first one, or whether with the news coming up about second one, or whether they're just going to hang back and watch the series develop. But yeah, we're talking about extending it, so it's not going to be.
Yeah, it looks like we might have lost her for a couple minutes here. We've been having some technical issues, folks, so hang in there for a few moments. And we'll see we'll get her back, and we'll talk some more what she's doing and books being in production and the convention she's coming up with in October, and we may have her back again. Hello.
We have hello.
She's back. Yay! Yeah, they've been dropping calls today for some silly reason.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Because I can hear you.
Great.
Cool. So as I was saying, we're looking at extending it from a saga into a series.
Oh, fantastic.
And it'll be interesting.
Yes, it will.
Interesting.
But it looks like we might have gotten dropped again. Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
Oh, great. You're there. Great.
I'm still here. There's like a delay, so what you say comes through. I've got like a 2-second delay.
Skype is being temperamental today.
But I had the most flattering thing said to me. I took him, has never watched wrestling, and through has become a wrestler. And he's playing a lot more wrestling-themed books.
Great.
Yeah, it's my first conversion.
Yeah, I was on Collar Davenport Saturday night, and we were talking about books and that type of thing. And I pretty much told them, and the other guest, this is the first break I've actually taken in 4 years. And I'm going to be going, probably in a couple weeks, going right back into it, because, I wrote 2 nonfiction books, and it just scrambled my brains because it takes longer to research the stuff than it does to actually write it.
That's correct, yeah.
I need to clear the cobwebs out of my head before I go back to the next fiction project.
Well, see, for me, I started ghostwriting Joe's autobiography, and he took over the rest of his book. It was just because I searched so many. I just jogged his memory, and which easy, but it proved very difficult someday.
Oh, exactly.
But he grabbed my stuff. he just knew what to say to spark my memory. And he's like, "Oh, didn't you tell me about one of your dance scenes where you flew and you crashed headfirst into it?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." A lot of the stories I told him, couldn't remember them, and I'm going, it's a bad day when Joe's were.
Well, see, at least your project's a face-to-face one. I pretty much had to research and wing mine, so at least for now.
Do with politics or something?
What's that?
Wasn't that to do with politics?
No.
Being able to do or something?
Yeah. My project was what they call the quote-unquote unauthorized book. So I had to pretty much go through research, and I spent a lot of time on YouTube, watching matches and stuff, so I could just put everything in chronological order, and that was tough. But evidently it turned out.
Did he not break his neck?
He broke
his sharpshooters.
He broke his orbital bone in January of 2005.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how he broke it though.
But what happened in the strap match at WCW? He actually his I believe it was his windpipe, I believe. And because the hanging part at the end of the match went kind of awry, and he was up there longer than he should have been, and he was out for a few weeks, and then he came back to do another PPV, and then of course it aggravated that injury, and then they had to go back out again for a while. So
I think it was hard because it was kind of much. I spoke to them frequently, and he said, they could go wrong.
Yeah, things can go wrong. I can name quite a few examples. And we dropped the call again. Folks, stand by. Skype is being very temperamental today, but she should be back in a few moments. Discussing some latest books and latest projects here on the show today. We will have her back in a few moments, hopefully. If not, at least we made the attempt today to bring you a show. But this week's been pretty nuts, and today's no different, apparently. But, it's nice when we get guests on here and we take the time to talk with us and bring you the latest. And if you have any comments or questions, you can post them here on the Spreaker wall or on the Ellen Carrington Show page. Or you can message us on Skype, provided it's not being temperamental with you. And hopefully we can get Kristal back this time again. Hello?
Hello, I didn't even know I'd been dropped that time.
Oh, these drop calls are driving me nuts today. But, pick up where you were.
As I said, the person that I talked about doing them said that, he wouldn't do another hangman-style match unless the person knew how, or, pay-per-view or something to that scale, because if somebody got hurt, he didn't want to feel bad about it.
Right.
And he didn't want to feel like he'd hurt somebody for nothing. So I know for a lot of wrestlers, it's a kind of match that they try to avoid when.
Okay. But these, hanging. You're not going to see a lot of strap matches these days, especially with the way they end like that, for that simple reason, because they can go wrong. And I mean, this guy could have come close to literally dying. His doctor told him that. He said somebody could just clothesline you in the neck, and you could die.
Yeah, but all the wrestlers run when they go in to do this. I appreciate that enough that they do have a risk in not walking out alive, and then annoys me as they turn around and say, "Oh, it's fake, it's fake." I have to say to them, to a certain extent, it's fake, but they on the line, and they don't get hazard pay, they don't get health insurance, and it
exactly.
And then they say, "Oh, well, why don't they get health insurance and stuff like that?" And I said, because the companies don't want to pay the cost for it.
Exactly. Well, and of course they have this thing too. Well, our wrestlers are independent contractors, not actual employees, so they try to go through that loophole as well.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a tough question today.
Okay.
Are you going to be taking part in booked convention on the internet or in person?
You know what? I'm going to have to talk to Don about it, because he's doing all my bookings now. It used to be I did them, and now since my last two books came out, he's taken them over. It might be an online participation, because he doesn't normally book overseas tours, at least not at the present time.
Mhm. Well, I mean, it's gonna be a great convention.
Oh yeah,
I've been reading
about it. It sounds fabulous.
Yeah, it's going to be the first wrestling convention.
Wow.
We're going to have romance and erotica,
Uh-huh.
which we talked about, God, back in 10, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
And I'm actually hosting it, which I'm very proud of. I'm so excited.
Great.
And there's going to be a lot of wrestlers there. I know that are being contacted,
Uh-huh.
and it's the kind of lineup to be there to appreciate. Some of them are out, which is going to be interesting because I haven't seen those how long. It's a bad day when I'm like,
Hey.
since 2000, maybe. Yeah, I'm to it. I'm being at the moment. I'm not booked, but when I am booked, I will be there. There's talk of me doing a book in person, which will be taking X amount of books from that, and I'll be there. And then at the end of the day, before the after party, I will do a reading and a sign myself that I'll be launching at the convention.
Oh, awesome.
And that's going to be nerve-wracking because I've never done one of them. I'm like,
But once you get past the
Yeah.
first one, it just goes uphill from there.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. This is, Marie's World's, and then we'll become tour with Waterstones. So Joe and me are excited about that. We hope the Highlands in November, stuff for them. Really talking to teenagers, and we'll be doing a book in class. Coming back down to the mainland, and we'll be doing book signings on our way down to Bristol. So
Uh-huh. Well, that sounds good.
it's going to be exciting. People, you should get involved now. Little Waterstones and see if they're, a hosting of us, whether they're booking us for the book signing or not.
Well, they probably get like tons of requests on a regular basis, so they're probably still shuffling through.
Actually, not as many as you would think.
Huh.
Yeah, I phone them up and I talk to them in person, and they all tell me the same thing, that they don't get people that go in very often and say, is so and so doing a book signing, or when are they one of the ones that's hosting them. So a lot of it is up to the authors, really, and finding out from their readers what's the stores that they can fill, and contacting the stores and hoping that the stores are going to be more willing to host them.
Well, that'll be great. I mean, you can't have too many book signings.
No, you can. I'm interested in the book company that we're working with, the publisher that we're working with for this particular book tour.
Uh-huh.
Specialize in in-person book.
Uh-oh. Looks like we got dropped again. Skype is not being very nice today. But we're right now, the topic is book signings, by the way.
I'm working with a publishing company that does very it, which a lot of publishing companies don't, but they do it. And I'm about that because I've not met too many people that specialize in doing in-person book signings. So I'm kind of hoping to work with this company and actually enjoy doing stuff in person. It's great to do stuff on the internet, but it's far more fun if you're doing it in person.
Oh yeah, they are, but it seems like the online conventions and workshops and all that seem to be the trend now. So you don't see as many, but when you do, it's great. It's great to be there. Don's trying to arrange something for me in June when SmackDown comes to town. He says, "Yeah, let's order a whole bunch of books. We'll get tickets, go to the show. Maybe we'll see about doing a signing after the show." He says, "I'm going to talk to the Marriott." He says, "I'll get back with you on that." I'm like, "Well, okay, do what you have to do."
Well, get your book in with Nelson's like supply stores and stuff like that. If you get it in one of their stores, then very easy to do book sign. You can just contact the store. Store orders the books in, so you have no driving with your books in the back of the car or anything like that. And then you turn up, you do the signing, and you go home, and you get, you know, either the bookstore, you know, pays you, or you get a percentage of your royalties from. So, you know, it works out better. They are working in conjunction with like Walmart or one of the local bookstores.
Uh-huh.
I think for the States, like your Barnes and Noble is our Waterstones.
Yeah. Well, he's got the paperbacks on the Barnes and Noble site right now. Where it's in the actual stores or not yet, I don't know. But he's working on that. But obviously, you can't do the ebooks on Barnes and Noble because he already put on Kindle Direct Publishing, and with that, you have to be exclusive for so long, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, whatever floats our boat. And he extended the 99-cent sale through this Saturday, so we'll see how that goes. And before it goes back up to the regular price. And plus, he's going to do another free promotion. I think he said, WrestleMania weekend.
Well, that's good. I mean, what you could do is, because wrestling fans will be in that area, this is already on Barnes & Noble's, then any bookstore that Barnes & Noble's, you can do signings in. So you could just contact the local Barnes & Noble store and say, I want to do a book signing, and then they would all books in that way, and it would be easier over WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I know a lot about this signing stuff because I've had to read about it, and I've had to do my research, and I've had to learn about it.
He's doing the Kindle promotion over WrestleMania weekend right now. But he says, as for the other stuff, he says we're going to line some stuff up for this summer. Yeah, and I'm like, yay! Let's get winter over with first, because I'm not going out in the snow.
No. Well, I mean, the one thing I do want to talk about, and this is a thing that's kind of come up close to me and from my heart, is author-related injuries.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
Publishers don't really talk about it, and I know the authors don't really talk about it, but, I mean, I know from my experience, I get injured a lot. Like, I have recently I've torn 2 ligaments in my left hand, and I've torn 4 tendons in my left hand, and I now, with some issues in my right hand, which I'm not aware of what the issue is yet. But we use our hands. Like, I mean, I know if you're like me and you write full time, then you're writing, say, 12, 14 hours a day. And you get stress injuries, and you get stress tears, and you get stress fractures. And I don't think the publishing companies out there really quite understand that. Like, I think they need to kind of talk to their publishers, talk to their authors, and do classes on special keyboards that would reduce that, special mouses that they can use to reduce injuries and strain,
Yeah.
I just want to say that because, like, through shows like yours, I can kind of get that message out, and it can help, authors who are getting injured and stuff like that deal with it better,
Mm-hmm. That's why I have a big screen on my computer. That way I can magnify. Well, my word processing program, I can bring it up where I can see.
Yeah.
Especially during, before I send in the quote-unquote final draft for them to edit. And even they miss stuff at times, so. But, stuff happens. Nobody's perfect. But it must not be affecting sales too bad because we've both done pretty well. At least you have.
I've best-selling book for, I had Calling You Home last year that we did a free day for it, and it blew up, and it was top 100 for long. I don't think it was long, and then it dropped back down a little.
Uh-huh.
But I make 20 sales a month. I'm not making hundreds and hundreds of dollars here, but I do okay, and that's the main thing, I think, is that as long as you're getting there, then that's okay. But I think people have to realize that books take time to grow and take time to draw in an audience, and that's that's what you need. And I've learned that, like, as I'm terrible, you know, oh my God, this is a great review, blasting it everywhere, and for the rest of the day. Maybe that, but on the other hand, it's also to do with the fact that I'm maybe doing edits, doing contracts for something else, somebody else about a contract. So I think balancing one's time is, I think, the hardest thing as an author we learn, especially when it comes to promotion, edits, and publishing.
Uh-huh.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a long process from start to finish. That's why I said when I wrote The Cruiserweight, it took me 2 years, but that was my first book. But so far, I usually bang out about an average about maybe 3 or 4 books a year, if I can.
I'm the same. Like, I've got 5 at the moment with 2 different publishers. I had an my book's coming out in, it was supposed to come out in February, and I believe it's coming out in March, which is First Love, Indie Gypsy. It was a publishing issue, really, because the publisher didn't get the edit like 2 days before. Speaking of panic stations, no, like, I mean, I take time with edits and I take time to make sure they're appropriate. But this year, I'm going to release so that I've got 10 books and just build it up. I mean, ideally, I would like a ridiculous amount of books, but with my interest now, I'm having a bit and I'm having to take things more.
Okay, we're down to the last couple minutes of the show right here, at least for part 1. We'll have Kristal stick around for a little bit if she can, and we will be back. We will be back in a few moments. Hang on tight.